Welcome to the Blues Jam podcast. This is the place to hear all about the people, places and events that make up the thriving blues scene. If you are involved in the Blues Jam and you want to tell me about it, please do contact me and let me know. I'd love to promote and share about every single Blues Jam that happens. If you like what you hear during this podcast, please do tell a friend so that they can enjoy it as well. Thank you. Okay, so, may you please introduce yourself?
I'm Mark. You're correct.
Yes, that is right. I mean, I don't need exact. You're welcome to give an age bracket if you.
I'm 62.
62.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Okay. And we're here in Gloucestershire, in your hometown, which again we don't have to give away, but.
Well, I'm from Bristol originally.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. I've been up in Wootton for about 20 odd years.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Right, okay, so only around sort of like the millennium time, a little bit later in fact, actually, I keep forgetting, we're 2024,
Yeah,
yeah.
99 I think we moved in.
Oh, okay.
99.
Okay. Any particular reason for job or work or for music or?
No, we just fancied a change and wanted to try somewhere different, so we came out of Wootton, yeah. I'd been here before. I used to deliver oil, petrol tankers.
Right.
And I was always driving up around the Wootton area and just said to my wife, you've got to come in, take a look at this place. It's just fantastic, you know. Beautiful place to live and see if we can buy a house there, and we did.
Yeah, we're sat in your cabin.
Oh, this is a cabin I built in lockdown, yeah.
Right. And this is where you practice with your band sometimes.
Yeah, Blues
as well.
Triad, yeah. We're in there quite regularly. It's good space. It's far enough away from neighbours where you know you're not really going to disturb anybody.
No, and like you say, beautiful views. We're looking out here over the valleys of Wootton in Gloucestershire.
The Severn Valley that way, if you look
Right.
that way.
Yeah, wonderful. So, just briefly then, are you still working at the moment? Just to give some context to.
Yeah,
or
I run a garden design business. So I design and build gardens, green roofs. Do some garden maintenance and that. So that's my full time.
Right. And is that something you've done for years? Did you train in that? Or
No, I've done it for about 24 years now.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So the real thing. Let's get to the meat of it. How long have you been doing music? Or how long
Music.
have you been involved in music?
I started playing guitar when I was a teenager,
Right.
and I got a harmonica as well. So that was quite useful because you can carry one around wherever you go. You can't carry a guitar everywhere, can you?
No.
Yeah,
Especially not a guitar and an amp.
That's right. So yeah, I've been playing guitar since I was 14, which is quite a long time ago. But I've never really pursued it to a level where I'd be, you know, good as a band guitarist or anything like that. I've really kept up with the harmonica more than, and singing as well, you know.
Yeah, right.
But that's only recently.
Yeah.
Singing, I only the last sort of 20 years, maybe 15 years. Started singing in blues jams and started a band. I've had a couple of bands since then. So yeah, sort of a late comer really to that.
And was there any particular thing that inspired you to pick up a guitar at 14 years old or pick up a harmonica?
Blues, definitely.
Really?
Blues.
Straight in with
I used
that?
to, when I was about 11, 12, I used to be an Elvis fan.
Right.
And a lot of some of the Elvis early stuff was blues songs, just reinvented really. So I never really made the connection. And then I had a friend at school who, his brother went to America and he came back with a load of albums from the southern states, you know, so the Allman Brothers, Lynyrd Skynyrd, all that sort of stuff, and which is really quite blues heavy.
Yeah, right.
So that's what really got me into blues then.
I mean, the Allman Brothers, that's the version of Stormy Monday that.
The iconic one, yes.
Yeah.
Stormy Monday.
Ain't I Crossed a Bear. Love
yeah,
that
all
one.
those songs,
Yeah.
brilliant.
Yeah.
Live at the Fillmore East, that was one of the best Allman Brothers albums, and that's
okay.
got. It starts off with about, it's quite a long album, but it starts off with about 4 or 5 straight blues tracks.
Nice.
You Don't Love Me, songs like that,
Right. Yeah. They had a nice sound as well.
Yeah.
Well, they got a nice sound. Yeah. Okay. So you were just like straight off and running with the blues.
More or less.
Right,
Yeah,
okay.
more or less. Blues rock. ZZ Top, that was a big one.
Yes.
And in fact, ZZ Top, I never played harmonica, but I heard on Tres Hombres, in my opinion, the best ZZ Top album. There's a song called Waiting for the Bus, and there's a cracking harmonica solo in there. It's electrified harmonica, amplified. I'd never really heard that before. I'd only really heard acoustic harmonica, and that I just thought, what is it? When I first heard it, I thought it was a guitar sound. But after, when I realised what it was and found out it was James Harmon, famous harmonica player, was playing that, and I thought I need to sound like that.
Right. So was that one of your early first experiences of like, I want to do that?
Yeah, that's it. That was probably the moment, one of the moments. Yeah.
Because everyone has that moment of like just
definitely.
watching something and going, or hearing something and going, that. How do I do that?
How do I do it? Yeah, and then you spend this was in the days before, internet really. Well, it's a long time before internet, and so you have to try and work it out. You get an album, and
so we're going back to
70s.
70s.
Yeah,
right, okay.
I mean.
So was ZZ Top contemporary at that point, or was that still? Because you talked about the old records that your mate's brother or that your mate brought back.
Yeah, that was the Allman Brothers and Leonard Skinner, and then I think one thing leads to another. You get into southern rock, and then you get into blues, and they're connected. ZZ Top, they're from Texas, but same sort of thing. And then you start reading about them, and they used to listen to all the old blues players. They used to listen to Mexican radio stations that used to pump out blues non-stop.
Right. Wow.
They're called X stations. They've even got a song called "Heard It on the X."
Right.
And that's when you start hearing about the old-time players, and then you hear about Muddy Waters, and Little Walter, and those sort of players.
And Albert King, Freddie King.
In a way, you go from the white musicians back to the original black musicians,
Yeah. Because I'm aware of that there was this sort of almost renaissance in the 60s and 70s where people like Clapton and the Stones and
definitely,
some of those were trying to bring that music almost to the UK, and some people were going, oh wow, what's this? And some people were going, it's a reinvention of stuff that's been done before.
Yeah.
Understandably, and it was a homage, and it was respectfully like, no, we're going to play this. Like Clapton doing Crossroads, all those,
Well, that period of the 60s, I missed all that because I was too young. But that, I feel like I should have been born now. Before.
Right, okay.
So, I'd have been into it more.
I mean, I'm also wondering, when, you were there and I wasn't, but, like that first Black Sabbath album.
Oh, yeah.
You can hear that, and you can hear,
Black Sabbath, yeah.
Oh, yeah, they heard the blues.
No, it was all related to, all rock.
Yeah.
At that point was related to the blues, you name any band, and it was, especially Led Zeppelin.
Right.
Yeah. Most of their songs were blues songs.
But like you say, you had an interest direct into like the old school blues as well. Like you were beginning to get educated.
Well, indirectly through
Right.
I found it through southern rock and Led Zeppelin and things like that. Yeah.
Yeah. And it was one of those ZZ Top tracks with a harmonica on it that made you go.
It was.
Yeah, I'm in.
Waiting for the Bus.
Right,
it was that song. Yeah. I just thought, that's it. I need a harmonica.
And just
I've still got the same harmonica now.
I was going to say, putting that on pause for a second. Can you play that solo right now? Have you learnt it?
No.
Have you all these years later? Okay.
No, it's too hard.
Okay.
I don't class myself as a good harmonica player. I've never really had any lessons. I've just,
You sort of self-taught.
yeah, I've never had a lesson. I've just, I've learned more by playing in bands.
Right.
Because you sort of forced to do so, but, and jams. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we'll definitely get to that.
Yeah.
I mean, at this, definitely want to talk about that. So, but you've just brought up a really interesting point there. So, when you were learning to play the guitar and the harmonica, was it purely by ear, or did you get some books?
Never
or
read
what?
music. Never even.
Right.
I can't follow tablature.
Okay. Or even just any books with written word about do this, do that, and then it will make this sound. And did you have to just experiment with it?
My friends at school, they all played instruments. So one of them was sort of more of an advanced guitarist than me. He played before me. I used to pick up tricks from him.
Right.
Showed me a few chords in that.
Okay. But then, is your ear pretty good at being able to hear something and go?
I think so.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think.
Okay.
Yeah, I think so.
Nice. I mean, I'm saying nice. I'm massively jealous, but we won't get into that right now because my ear needs a lot of work, and that's something I'm really conscious of at the moment.
It's the thing where
the next bit of
you hear a singer sing a melody, and you can play that on the guitar. That thing.
That's what I'm working on at the moment.
I'm sure you
more
can
than
do
anything. Yeah. Well, I'm aware that like anything else, I've got to practice it and just keep doing it, and then
Yeah, I think that's what it is. Practice.
Yeah. We'll come back to that because I think that's going to be a recurring theme for this podcast. Right. So at any point, so you're like 14. You're in your teenage years. Yeah. Are you doing? Is there a point when you were doing both, quite a lot of guitar and harmonica, or did you sort of swap from one to the other, or?
Well, I was the first band I was at school, and it was called Interstate 95 Special.
Brilliant.
Because we were obsessed with Lynyrd Skynyrd and Southern rock, and Interstate 95 goes from all the way down through to Florida, and that's where Lynyrd Skynyrd from Jacksonville.
Right.
So yeah, we were obsessed with it, and so I was a singer in that band, and I used to just play guitar every now and again in that band. But yeah, sorry, what was the original question?
Well, I'm just wondering, exactly that. I'm interested in this timeline as you moving through teenagehood into your 20s, whether there was a time when you were playing guitar and harmonica, or whether you sort of jumped from one to the other, or...
No, they always sort of came together, Right. I never really played them at the same time, but I didn't have a rack or anything like that.
No.
So yeah.
But you were sort of concentrating on both roughly at the same sort of time.
Oh yeah. When I first started, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And then I guess there's that time when you move into your 20s and you have to go. I mean, was there any time when you were earning your money just from gigging in a band? Or?
No, I never earned any money. You always
had
still don't earn a lot now in a band. No, I've never done that. When I was in my 20s, I travelled abroad. I went around the world, and that's where I played a lot of music, because you'd get invited to parties and that, and if you could play a bit guitar, you had a harmonica. You could always meet somebody who jamming basically.
Right. Yeah.
So places like Australia, Canada, and places like that.
Brilliant.
But not constantly playing, but just every now and again, and you'd be on a beach somewhere and there'd be some people playing music and you just join in, And the thing is with blues, everybody can play it.
Yeah.
It's all fairly formulaic, isn't it? It's fairly 12 bars.
Yeah.
I mean, not to...
Yeah, like kind of yes and no. Like there's this weird thing that I'm experiencing where it's yes, there's a formula to it.
If you know the
1-4-5, yeah.
That's all you need, really.
And yet at the same time, that is the basis for something that you could be relatively creative over the top with. Yeah.
But a lot of rock songs are the same as
Yeah.
well. They're the same format. Or they do it the other way around, you know?
Yeah.
Or they go to 4-5-1, whatever, you know, I don't
Yeah.
know what it is. I'm not technically, I'm not technical when it comes to...
But that has been part of my learning curve, is actually listening to some songs now and going, oh, hang on a minute. They're just following a 1-4-5. Even I can hear that. Even I can hear what they're doing. Yeah. Now I'm a lot more familiar with it. Exactly. Just like, all right, this is basically a blues song. But the first time I had that recently was listening to Strange Brew by Cream. And just going, hang on,
it's a blues
song. As psychedelic as the lyrics might be, that's a blues song.
Exactly.
Listen to it.
Yeah.
Listen to the music, not the lyrics, and then all of a sudden you're like, oh, yeah. Brilliant. Okay. So, I mean, I don't want to jump too much, but I'm guessing there was a whole period. I mean, you talked about. So you went travelling around the world, and you were the music was still integrated in that, because, like you say, it brings people together.
Yeah.
In a way that a lot of things don't, because it doesn't matter whether you even speak the same language. As soon as you can play some music,
you can just play.
Yeah. And at what point? So. And have you always been in bands in one way or another, or was it?
There's always been a band or some jam going on somewhere. Yeah, always. Right. Most of the time, I've always
So when did you first, or is the Wooten Jam, which we'll talk about in a little bit more detail in a minute, is this the first one that you've created, or?
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
That's the first one. Well, first one that I've created, but not the first one
that you've been
I was at the beginning of.
Right. Okay.
The very first one in Wooten was just about 5 of us used to get together on a Sunday up at the Arts Centre.
Right.
And that wasn't a blues jam, that was just a jam. We used to just get together and play any old stuff, but it would always end up 1 or 2 blues songs, or rock songs, mainly rock. So that was just to keep playing music with other musicians,
right.
You know?
And was there plenty of that going on in Bristol as well when you were in Bristol before you moved here?
Not for me, no.
Wow.
No, I didn't. There was quite a while when I used to live in Patchway, and nothing really happened there. Although saying that, I've got a friend, this keyboard player who comes to the blues jams, Martin. He used to organise a jam down at the Plough in Pilning, I think. Pilning?
Right.
Or down that. Yeah, Pilning. Which is just down the other side of Bristol. So we used to do that regularly. Just keep me handy, so to speak.
Yeah, nice. Yeah, so that And was that the same? When you say that he was creating a jam there, was that what sort of format was that?
Or was it an open mic? Well, it's probably an open mic actually.
More of an open mic.
Yeah.
Okay.
So because he played in quite a few blues bands, and there was always a set list, not a set list, but there was always a load of songs that we could fall back on. We were all familiar with,
right?
The Blues Brothers, stuff like that.
Right.
Sweet Home Chicago, those sort of songs.
Like you say, pretty much standards.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. So when did you start the Wooten one?
2016.
Ooh.
Yeah, the first.
Oh.
It was off the back of the Wooten Blues Festival.
Right. Okay.
I just thought, at the time, there's all these people come to see blues, and there's loads of musicians, and I've sort of got to know a few musicians anyway, just over the years in Wooten, and I just had this idea that, if we could all just get together and jam, and the Arts Centre was there available with the PA.
Right.
And it was, sort of a no-brainer really. So the first one was on the 2016 Wooten Blues Festival on the Sunday.
Right.
The Sunday morning. It was really early. It was something like about 10 o'clock. So, most people were still hungover from the Saturday, including me. That was the first one, and it was quite a success really for the first one. There was probably about 20 or 30 people turned up.
Nice.
Yeah, and not so many people came to watch, like they do now.
Right.
But it was more all musicians,
And I'm guessing the usual thing of about 15 million guitarists, one bass player.
There's always been more guitarists. There's always been more guitarists than you can use. And what I find with guitarists, and I'm one myself, they like to use their own equipment, you know.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
I mean, you know, there's a couple of jams I go to where you have to use their equipment, which is fine. I don't mind that either, but I think...
I don't mind plugging into someone else's amp. I'm not sure how I'd feel about playing someone else's guitar.
Well, it's the pedals, I think. They like the pedals,
okay.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm not so fussed about that, no. I go more with the band
sound.
name,
I think
yeah.
it's...
Yeah.
They like the sound, don't they? You know, you've got your own sound you like. It's
I'm
probably
not-
the same with harmonica. You like to use... You like to get your own sound.
I'm lucky that I'm not good enough yet to worry
Oh,
about
you-
what sound I've got. I'm more worried about whether or not I'm in the right key than I'm worried about what bloody sound I've got.
No, I'm sure you...
Okay, that's quite interesting. Okay, so right. Hopefully, I'll remember what you've just mentioned about a sound for your harmonica, because I want to come back to that.
Okay.
But the Wooten Jam, I'm very flattered that you've agreed to do an interview with me today, because you host the first ever thing that I went to. I didn't quite realise. Okay, 2016. So you're coming up for 8. Oh yeah, because last year the Blues Jam was sort of like September time. So we're
It's
coming
always in
up,
September.
So we're coming up to sort of 8 years.
I think it's
of the Jam.
It must be 8 years now. Yeah.
Yeah,
I
right.
could probably check it out on Facebook because I think I started the Facebook page straight away almost.
Right.
So yeah, I could probably have a look back and confirm it. But
Yeah, I can't remember who it was, but I think I joined some sort of like Gloucestershire musicians page and maybe even said on there like, I'm looking for somewhere to go and play my guitar.
I think you did. I
bluesy.
remember replying. I think.
Right.
I
Okay.
think I might have replied it, or somebody might have mentioned it. But yeah, I've got fairly good at sharing to other groups.
Right.
I've worked out how to do it all. You can get quite a good
Spread. Yeah.
good spread.
Yeah.
It's good spread with your advertising.
Yeah,
really.
crikey, because we have somebody who comes from
Newbury, Cheltenham,
Gloucester.
Swindon, Bristol.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've had people come from Forest of Dean.
Wow.
Somebody comes from up near Walsall. Yeah, let's see. The slide guitarist who was there last week.
Oh, matey who supplies
Yeah.
Knopfler with these slides.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
He comes, I think it's Walsall or Birmingham way somewhere.
Wow.
So yeah.
Good for him. Nice. But for you, it's just here in your local village.
Just up the road, yeah.
Okay, and what was there any particular inspiration for you starting that jam? Or a jam? I mean, you said it was connected with the idea of like, was it just timing that it was like, it would be great to start it at the Blues Festival, or?
Well, that was, yeah.
Oh, and you also said that you'd seen there were so many people coming to the Blues Festival that like it was almost a
I saw
no-brainer.
that,
Or
and also I thought, well, also I get if there's a jam, I get to sing and play guitar and harmonica more. You know.
yeah,
I haven't really played guitar at the jams much. I have done, but more singing harmonica.
yeah.
So yeah, just an opportunity to just play more music, really.
Yeah. So there will be a plug for it as always.
Yeah.
But just as we're talking about it right now, remind me, is it like the third Friday of each month? Or?
No, it's everybody asks me this. It's what happens. The arts centre say they send me a note saying we're booking up. They always book a year ahead. We're booking up for another year. Do you want to come up with some dates?
Right. Okay.
And I just generally put them in. Generally once a month, except for say, probably have a break around about August where we don't normally have one in August. And then there's always been things like school holidays and that I try to avoid.
Yeah.
My kids are grown up a bit and are a bit older now, so that's not so much a problem. But it's generally, I think the jazz jam is they always have the second Friday, and so one of those Fridays are all always booked up. So yeah, it's just what's available, and sometimes we make it 5 weeks. You know, it's not always. Last year there was 2 in September.
Right.
Because one on the Friday of the Blues Jam, and then
Yeah.
the Blues Festival.
Yeah.
And then there was one a week after. So.
And there was an impromptu jam in the wine. In the wine.
Yeah, that in the wine shack. Wine
nice.
shack at number 7. Yeah, they had their own thing there.
That was nice. That was a nice little.
Yeah, I didn't go to that, but
that was alright. It was quite intimate because it's quite a small little.
Very small.
Place, yeah.
But it's good. Some of those jams are some of the best jams because.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because they are intimate.
Because they're intimate, yeah.
And everyone's playing.
Yeah.
On each song, everyone's.
And it's more or less acoustic.
Yeah. Yeah. Unless somebody brings his metal guitar. I
know that might be.
So when did you form the Blues Triad?
Blues Triad. Well, that was 21, I think. Again.
So not okay. So only about 3 years ago. Okay.
Yeah. That was through meeting somebody or knowing some musicians. Sorry about this. But
Brilliant. Brilliant.
Easy top.
Love it.
Sorry, I'm on a podcast. I'll call you back. It's my son.
Do me during that.
Yeah. Yeah. Sorry, what were you saying?
So the formation of the Blues Triad.
Yeah, that was. I think that was 21.
Mildly inaccurately named at the moment because there's 4 of you, but we'll get into that.
We'll get to that. Well, I'd always wanted to do something a bit different, and.
If that was your son, you could have taken it. Don't worry, we can pause.
No, it won't be anything.
Okay, alright. Okay.
I always wanted to do something a bit different in the blues style.
Right.
So I had this idea of just having like a trio or even a duo.
Right.
Just guitar and harmonica to start with, and then maybe drums. So more in the hill country blues style, you know?
Yeah.
I was sort of getting into that music. And so you don't necessarily have to have a bass player, because it's more guitar based and it's more stompy. A lot of songs on the one, you know,
right.
on the one chord. And anyway, I was in a band with a couple of musicians. We were just doing some rock covers and things. I was doing a bit of singing, a bit of harmonica playing, and one of the guitarists, I was having a chat, which is Rob. You know Rob.
Yeah.
I said, "Do you fancy starting a band up? Because I want to do this duo trio thing. I think it'd be good." And he said, "Yeah." And we started, and then we invited Jez, my neighbour Jez. And now we've expanded to four of us, just so that we get more of a dynamic sound, you know, 2 guitars instead of 1.
Yeah, and you're right about like you've got it's obvious you've got there's a particular subgenre that you guys are quite
definitely,
interested in. Yeah.
There's not many bands really do it, and I can't think of any around here that do, apart from us, that do sort of specifically hill country blues and Hound Dog Taylor type stuff. Well, Hound Dog Taylor, you wouldn't say he was hill country blues, but it's the same feel. It's the same sort of expression of the blues. You know, it's not. Yeah, we didn't want to be sounding like every band that every blues band that you can see in a pub, you know.
Yeah. Doing all the obvious ones.
Doing all the obvious ones, yeah. We try and avoid that.
So how else would you describe that style of like if somebody doesn't know that expression of southern that you were just using? Sorry, say it again.
North Mississippi Hill Country Blues.
Hill Country Blues.
That's
Right,
the
okay.
genre.
So if you had to describe it without using that, like what's the tempo? What's it like? You said it.
Well, there's a
lot of songs stay on the one
Yeah.
on the one chord, right?
There's a word that's sort of used to describe a sort of feeling when you play that sort of music, and it's gut bucket.
Right. Okay.
And I can't really explain what that is, but it's just with that word I saw. There's somebody called Little Freddie King, and he's from New Orleans, and he kept using that word, and I thought that sounds exactly what we're trying to achieve. It's just more about a feeling, something you can feel rather than that you can express it that way, So it's difficult to explain.
Sure, but give us some examples of some of the songs that you cover and what you do then, so people can go off and listen to it and go, I see what you mean, right?
Well, there's one of probably the most well-known North Mississippi Hill Country Blues people is R.L. Burnside. His stuff was covered. His stuff's been sampled quite a lot. And it's covered, I'll tell you, the Black Keys. The Black Keys did an album called Delta Cream.
Right.
And they covered some R.L. Burnside songs and Junior Kimbrough, those sort of artists. They're all from the same sort of area. And it's the one we like to play is a song called Jumper on the Line.
Jumper on the Line.
Which is, nobody seems to know what that's about. I don't think it's about washing.
Right, okay.
But it's Jumper on the Line, Going Down South, Poor Black Matty.
And those are those the lyrics are three different songs?
Yeah, they're three different songs.
Three different songs.
And there's
by who again? Sorry, do you say?
R.L. Burnside.
R.L. Burnside.
Junior Kimbrough.
Right.
They're like a big the Burnsides are like a big family, but he was the one. I mean, even his grandson now is getting quite famous for North Mississippi style blues,
Again,
he's sort of taken it on. Yeah, that sort of thing, and they're all like a big community. There's a band of, and these are all black musicians,
Right.
But there's a band of white musicians called North Mississippi All Stars, and they sort of they've taken it a step further, a bit like the Black Keys when they're paying homage to all these.
And are they sort of slightly modernising it as well, this North Mississippi All Stars, or are they keeping quite?
I'd say they are slightly modernising it, yeah. So it's gone from really acoustic to more electrified,
right? But still keeping it true to that sort of gut bucket.
Yeah, and even to this day, you see them all playing together. So you'll see Cedric Burnside playing with the North Mississippi All Stars, collaborating.
Okay.
And all the Kimbrough family, and the Black Keys do the same thing. They've had all these musicians in on their albums,
Nice. Okay.
So it's definitely a subgenre.
And is there any particular reason you've chosen that with the blues triad? I mean, you mentioned about.
Because I love it.
Because right, okay.
Yeah, that's it.
And that's more than a good enough reason. In fact, that's the only reason.
Yeah, and
you love it, and that's what you want to do.
And in fact, before we asked Danny to join the band, I didn't realise that he was really into it as well.
Right.
And he was saying, he said, "This is great. I've been waiting for this sort of thing to
come along."
Yeah.
Right.
Because nobody's really. There's not a lot of people that are that into it, So, and you won't find many bands that just do that style.
Yeah.
Do some of it. But we don't just stick to that. We take elements of John Lee Hooker and Muddy Waters. We play a Muddy Waters tune. So we mix up Howlin' Wolf, a lot of Howlin' Wolf.
Right. Yeah. Okay. Yes.
And they're all from the same area.
Yeah.
And you can hear all the North Mississippi influences that they've been influenced by Howlin' Wolf and people like that.
Right.
They would have got it from somewhere.
I mean, there is so much history in this stuff, isn't there?
Yeah.
There is so much plotting you could do of influences that have come down, and where both geographically and in terms of chronology in time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Which I'll be interested.
I mean, there's a video on YouTube. It's called I think it's called Live at the Sportsman's Lounge, and it's about juke joints basically. And there's these people have come just to listen to R.L. Burnside. He's just in this crowd. It's a place like this, this cabin. It's not very big, and it's packed, and people are just having a good time. And he's just playing like on the one chord, and it's almost like trance music.
Right, right.
Because it's got that. It's something deep down,
Yeah. Almost spiritual,
yeah, that's it. It's
like trance in the true sense of going into a trance style.
Yeah, it's almost hypnotic.
Hypnotic. Yeah.
I mean, he's playing probably one song for about 20 minutes, and you just don't get bored of it or the people dancing don't get bored of it because it's dance music, even though it's blues, So blues doesn't have to be. It doesn't have to be like that,
No.
Which is good also, but
yeah. So that does bring me back around to what I want to ask you about, because in the blues triad you sing and you play harmonica
and the diddley bow,
yeah, or the double diddley bow. Have you still got the 2-string? Did you said you made a 2-string?
I did, but it didn't work. It didn't work. It kept breaking. So I need to redo it. I've just ordered some more machine heads.
Right.
I'm determined to do
it.
Re-engineer it. Basically, it's I'm going to explain this. It's a plank of wood diddley bow with diddley bow is a 1-string guitar and plays slide on it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because the original diddley bow was a piece of wire on the side of a cabin. That's how it originated. They just used to, that's not the original diddley bow, but that's where the inspiration came from.
Right.
Years ago. So they just used to pluck it and.
So excuse my naivety if I'm being really almost sort of using the hollowness of the cabin.
Yeah, the resonance of the cabin.
Right. Okay.
So that's where.
Okay. Yeah.
I mean, this thing I've got. In fact, what influenced me was C6 Steve. He plays a 1-string diddley bow.
Yeah.
I thought that's great, Just so I
Yeah.
thought I'd make one, and it's so easy to make. I mean, it's just a plank of wood, a couple of nails, and
like
some way of tuning it.
Yeah. Like you say, you play it with a slide because there's no frets or anything.
You play it on your lap, and you have to feel your way.
Right.
You don't. There's no frets, so it's.
There's no point reading any tab. No, you have to hear, where you're at.
Well, I mean, if you play guitar, you're halfway there because you've got 12 frets. You know roughly where you are. You can just. But with slide, there's a bit of leeway. You can go back and forward.
Yeah, so. There's that microtonal quality.
That's it,
to
and I think that's what gives it that old sort of gut bucket sound.
Right.
What with any slide.
So you sing and you play harp.
Yeah.
And you mentioned earlier about harp. Like any musician, everybody has the sound that they're looking for.
Well, I think a lot of harmonica players are obsessed with tone.
Right.
So, because, there's this thing where just by holding the harmonica a different way, you can get a different tone out of it. You can get a thin tone or a fat tone. Most harmonica players want a nice big fat tone, like little water,
Right.
And the way you get that tone is if you've got a harmonica mic, you cup it like that. So you pressurize it basically.
Right. Okay.
So when you hold the mic or any microphone, you form a cup around it and you pressurize it, and it gives it that deep sound. If you don't, you're going to get a thin, what they call thin sound. So that is sort of like, to get a nice tone is the holy grail of sounds. It's like, a guitar sound. You want that lovely tone, that you've heard from whoever your favourite guitarist is.
There is particular tones for particular styles. Like
exactly.
Yeah. If I wanted to play blues, I'd want I want a different amp to if I was going to play heavy metal or something. Yeah, for sure. Yeah,
but it's not necessarily an amp sound. You should be able to create the tone unamplified, because when you amp it up, it just amplifies what you've already created. So
yeah, well, yes, but I mean, I noticed because I do notice you guys have not only got your harmonicas, but you have a particular like amp, a particular mic that you hold the
that's the other
harmonica
thing.
in front of.
Yeah,
you don't just grab the normal mic off the stand.
The history of harmonica mics all started because they wanted to get heard over the guitarist and the rest of the band, so they used anything that was available. They would use the old PA system, the announcing thing, and that's why they got this bullet shape.
Because it's like the old original.
That's what they were.
Right.
Yeah, you see them in police cars and that.
Yeah.
That's where you get your iconic bullet shape from.
Because they're
called bullet mics. Yeah.
So you're saying that they were originally playing unamped up on the stage, trying to fight again, like you say, trying to be heard over the top of.
They were probably trying to play close to a microphone or something. I don't know. I'm not really that up on it, but I do know that the way they got that really bluesy sound was through using guitar. I think it was guitar amps and PA microphones.
Right.
Because the guitar amps were sort of out of balance with the mic. They were overdriven,
Yeah.
So you get that nice sort of crunchy sound.
Yeah. And is that? Do you spend ages trying to make sure you get the right? Have you got a particular?
Obsessed with it at one point.
Right.
I must admit, I was obsessed with it, but I've calmed down now, and I don't. When I play in the band, I've got 2 or 3 mics. I've even made my own mic out of. It was a spice tin, a spark plug adapter. An old one from years ago. I've stuck 2 of those together and put a spice tin with holes on the top and an old karaoke mic, and it sounded great.
Brilliant.
Cost me a couple of quid.
Brilliant.
And put a volume control in it. So yeah, I like the idea of these homemade things. That's probably why I made the diddly bow. Because you can make a good harmonica mic out of a telephone. You just reverse it, because basically the receivers are just the opposite of. You can make a telephone receiver. I'm talking about the old phone, not
anyone under about 35. We're talking about when you used to pick up.
Hello. Yeah, one of those.
You didn't know who was calling because there was no screen. It was just bling bling.
Yeah,
hello.
That's it. Yeah. So you can. I think I might have made one in the past out of one of those actually.
Right.
So So anything like that homemade, I think it's great.
And is it also the brand of the harmonica that makes a difference as well, or?
I don't think so. I think they're all pretty good. You can obviously get the really. I've had some, good results with some really cheap throwaway things. You can buy for a couple of quid. In fact, I bought one the other day off some Chinese company. And it sounds fine to me. It was only about tenner,
What sort of price range is a top end harmonica?
Oh, you can go from, I think the Honer's around about £40 or £50. But you can get them customised. That's a whole nother world.
Right. Oh, yeah. Crikey.
I've never.
Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, I've never been there. You get them customised, so you get the reeds. The harmonica reeds sort of sorted to how you want it, so it plays to your. You can tune them to how you can get them perfectly set up.
Right.
And then you can get the cover plates embossed or gold plate. You can do what you want with them, really.
Right. I see. Okay.
And you can get them made with a thicker comb, which is the middle bit.
Right.
So there's all sorts you can do, and there's some companies that just specialise in. And some of these top players, they have custom harmonicas.
Bespoke ones.
Yeah.
Right,
you're talking hundreds and thousands. I wouldn't know how much it costs, to be honest.
Right. Okay. And do you think So what's the equivalent in the harmonica? Is there stuff within the harmonica that you have to change regularly? I'm thinking like, is there an equivalent to like when you change strings on a guitar? Like,
No,
oh yeah, these are worn out. Let's get some
The
fresh
only
strings
thing
on.
that normally happens after a while, you might blow a reed. So because you're always bending, the 4 draw or the one of those. You know the what they call the 4 draw is a 4th hole.
Right.
So a draw is one way, and so you blow and you suck. Suck is a draw basically, and that's how you bend the notes. As you get that blues sound.
Right. Okay.
By bending that reed. So I should have brought a harmonica down. I could have demonstrated it, but never mind.
We can pause while you go and get one if you want, or
Yeah, just pause it.
yeah, go on.
And
Yeah.
I'll go and get one. 2 seconds.
Right. So we're back. You brought you brought the harmonicas,
Yeah.
and you were just also showing me, your homemade microphone. For those of you watching the video on YouTube, which is available. If you're only listening, you can also go to YouTube where there's a video of this, where you can see Mark's homemade microphone with hose part, spice tin, and spark plug remover.
Spark
were you
plug
saying?
from the 60s, that one.
Wow.
Spark plug remover from the 60s.
There it is.
Yeah, that was
Good-
my dad's.
Good times.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So now.
So
now
what
we're
we were
onto the
talking about,
harmonicas.
we were talking about bending notes. weren't we?
Yeah, and the reeds.
Yeah. So, for instance, you got the sort of like the 4 draw, which is no. So I picked one.
Pick one that's not warmed up yet.
Yeah, it's just blocked. So you've got to clean them every now and again.
Right.
Let's get hang on. Right. Okay. So I got a C, which is when you learn harmonica, everybody starts with a C.
Right.
Because it's in the middle, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
So you pick something
It's all
like
the white notes.
Yeah. So for a draw, you go. See that bend, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
So it's, you know, but you're always blowing, you're always drawing on that 4. It's not a very good one actually. Look at that G. So you've got to get them the right way up as well. See, you can bend it
Right.
down.
Yeah.
And you can also bend them by blowing. So you can do a blow bend,
Right.
which is that's by blowing, you know.
Right.
So there's all sorts of things you can do rather than just play straight.
That first one you did sounds a lot like when they are sort of like imitating the train noises.
Oh, what sort of?
Yes.
That's the easy
Brilliant.
thing to do. Yeah.
Right. Okay. And that, are you manipulating that? How are you manipulating
Well,
that?
when that train sound, that's playing a chord, which is more than one hole. you know,
Right.
More than one note.
Right, I mean, for you it might be obvious, but for me and for maybe people listening or watching, how do you only concentrate, how do you get it so that you're only drawing or blowing through one hole then? Is that manipulation of the tongue or the lips?
Yeah,
or?
there's two techniques. There's lip pursing, which is basically using your lips to block off a couple of holes,
Right.
and so you're only pulling through one hole. Or there's tongue blocking, which
Right.
is doing the same thing, but you put your tongue, say if you've got 3 holes there, you put your tongue over 2, and then you blow or suck through 1.
Right.
It's difficult to explain,
Yeah.
and there's a lot of people play tongue block, a lot of people play lip pursing, so there's 2
Right.
different schools of thought.
Right.
Some
okay.
people do both.
Right.
I personally, I lip purse,
Right, okay.
and I do a bit of tongue blocking, so a bit of tongue blocking would be,
Right.
so you're pressing your tongue against it, you know?
And it sounds like you've got that opportunity to
Yeah, so you're flicking
sort
your
of
tongue
trill
against it to get that rhythm, you know? But that's tongue blocking is sort of new to me. I don't really.
Right, okay.
I'm trying. I
Right.
find it hard, but some people are just really good at it.
Right. Okay. And is that because you are still continuing to develop
Always
learn
learning,
new?
yeah.
Right.
Yeah, always learning.
Okay. Because that was definitely one sort of set of questions that I'm quite interested in, especially as a musician. Is what advice would you give anyone interested in learning the harmonica?
Oh, just get one anyway, because it's so easy to play something.
Right.
It's so easy to learn, and once you learn how to do a blues scale, you're away.
So you say that one's in G.
That one's in G. So you play. The most normal thing to do is play cross harp, which is second position. So there's positions you play. So, for instance, that's in G. No, let me. I got to think. I got to think what it is. So if you had a C harmonica, you'd be playing in the key of G in second position. So the guitarist would be playing in G.
Right. But you pick up a
C harp, but you're playing in G. Right. But you're playing what they call second position, which is the I think the scale starts on the 2 draw. I don't know the technical side of it, to be honest. I just know what.
So each one of those holes is numbered.
Yeah, so 1 to 10, yeah.
Right. And what are they like? I'm trying to. The problem is, I'm obviously thinking in a sort of guitar way. Are they a tone or a semitone apart?
Actually, this is a D. This is a D. So you've got the. This is where harmonica players are going to be watching this, saying, "No, that's totally wrong," and they're probably right, because I'm not too sure myself.
Your technical theory.
Yeah, my technical is just terrible. So the one blow is D on a D harp. One blow is D, and then the 4 blow is D.
Right.
So you got.
Yeah. Okay.
Same note.
Yeah.
So between 1 and 4, you've got a whole scale.
A whole octave.
So you blow, draw, blow, draw, blow, draw.
Yeah.
You know, but that's not the scale.
And I might be barking.
And then it goes up again.
Yeah, and I
so
might
you've got
be
the same again.
Right.
That's an octave.
Yeah. I might be barking up the wrong tree, but is that in minor or major?
Well, this is where you got me, but this is a major. Yeah, this is major. Okay. Major scale. So it's a D scale.
Tone, semitone, tone, semitone. Back to the D. Right. Okay. Right.
Like I said, the technical side of it, I'm not really up on. And
nor am I. So if anyone knows better, then feel free to leave a comment about how ignorant we are, so that we can educate ourselves and other people. Okay. And so, do you have any tips for any beginner harmonica players?
Just not really. I'm probably not very good. I wouldn't be a good teacher. I wouldn't. I would just say, just get one and play. I mean, when you normally buy one, I don't know if they still do it, but they used to have a little pattern in there, for when the saints, for when the saints.
Right. Okay.
And they show you the notes where the notes are. But. Okay. Yeah, I mean, my only tip would be to listen to loads, listen, and then try and work it out yourself. Right. Or there's to be honest, there's so many people that can show you on YouTube these days.
Watch some YouTube videos.
Watch YouTube videos. That's probably your quickest way.
Yeah. It is nowadays, isn't it?
Yeah. Which is what I do. I listen to people showing you how to do things. So.
And along with the tongue blocking, is there any other advanced techniques that you're working on at the moment, where you're like, I really want to try and get this technique down?
Probably. Yeah, it's probably using your so you use your throat and your, what's that bit called? The esophagus, not esophagus, larynx. I can't remember, whatever that's called.
But more of your chest cavity.
Yeah. So use your jaw.
Right.
So you keep your jaw like that, so that it's more of it resonates more in your jaw, so you can get a deeper sort of. See, hear that bit? It was going.
Yeah.
So.
But that's something. But that's surely something you'll have to feel. You'd have to feel whether you're doing that or not.
Yeah. So you use to get that sort of warbling sound. You know,
right. Right. Yeah.
You can hear it. It's from there. It's not. Right. It's not from there. Right. You know. But that's just. I'm just practicing more on that. You know.
Yeah.
Or a bit of train chugging. Like.
Yeah.
That sort of thing. Which is all about timing and things like that. And breath.
Right. Okay. Yeah, because that from my basic understanding, that's real roots sort of bluesy stuff. Because that was part of their inspiration. The trains were coming through the Delta,
I think
the
so.
Mississippi, so on and so forth, and they were trying to imitate either on the guitar
Well, they used to issue these to the Hohner ones. They used to issue them to the GIs, didn't they? The Americans.
Did they?
Yeah.
Right.
During the war.
Right.
Hohner. That's how they first got well known. Hohner.
So they were just banging them out to the.
I'm not sure how, but I think so. I think they used to issue them out. They got hold of them.
Okay. Again, if you've got further details on that, let us know.
Yeah, there's so much history with it.
Yeah.
And some of the harmonica players that go to the jam, they go to Trossingen in Germany, which is
right.
I think it's the home of Hohner.
Right.
And they have a workshop seminar there every year, and all these famous people come and teach you harmonica. Now, I've never been, but a couple of the lads have.
Yeah. Right. And who is so as well as that? I mean, right now, who would be some of your inspirations behind the harmonica? Who are some people that you're listening to? Right. If it's changed from those early days from what?
Oh, it definitely has. Well, I listened to people like William Clark, who was, I think he was a car worker in Detroit, and he just got really good at harmonica player, and he playing harmonica, and he used to. He was taught by George Harmonica Smith, which was one of the most famous harmonica players.
Right.
Hence the name Harmonica Smith. And he just got really, but he died quite young actually. But just as he was getting really famous on the harmonica, But I like his style. And the old one, Jimmy Reed.
Right.
Little Walter. That's most people do. Little Walter. Probably one of the most famous harmonica players. He played with Muddy Waters and Junior Wells, definitely Junior Wells. His style, I like his style.
Nice.
So there's so many out there now.
Nice. Well, Mark, thank you. When's the next Wootton Jam?
Next Wootton Jam is 21st of June, so midsummer.
Oh yes.
Midsummer special.
Longest day.
Yeah, longest day.
Are we going on into the night? No. Don't drive thinking you're going to have a midnight session.
No, we have to finish by 10:30 because of the residents and bit of a curfew. But that's long enough. 3 hours is long enough, and we get through.
I mean, we almost get through 2 songs in that time with the amount of solos that.
If we got time, just to mention, the tricky thing at the end of the night is trying to finish on time because. When people write the songs down, you don't know how long they're going to be.
Just briefly, let's talk. What inspired you to have that format of?
Well, that was one of the guitarists. That was Steve, one of the guitarists. He said he'd been to a jam, and what they do, he said they write it down. They write this chart like a matrix system. I said, we'll give it a go then.
Steve was on the right-hand side with the Quicksilver T-shirt and the strap.
That's it. Steve's one of the original.
I thought he played really well last time. I was really suddenly
great.
Hello,
He was probably one of the first guitarists to turn up to the jam.
Right. Okay.
He was right at the beginning.
Nice.
Yeah, he's been coming ever since. But that's the thing. Some of the people, have been there since day one, and there's new people coming all the time.
Well, I mean, if you're interested in coming, I can testify. It's a very friendly jam. Definitely. You even tolerated me turning up a year ago and sort of with my wrong guitar. Going, I think you're at the wrong jam, mate. This ain't the heavy metal jam. What are you doing?
Yeah, we like all that.
And you have all been very welcoming and tolerating of my very steep learning curve that I've been on.
I think that's the thing. It's people, all abilities, and people have gone on to. There's so many bands that come from that. You know, there's countless bands that come from people or collaborations at least.
And I love that we have some age variation. We have a young man with the red Strat who comes, who I shall keep anonymous for now because he hasn't consented.
No. I know what you mean. Yeah.
Who is of very young age actually. When he told me the other day, I was like, what? Yeah, and he's quite competent actually.
Yeah, he's amazing.
I think he's got a really I think he's really got. There's a whole family. There was quite a few of them last time. Yeah. I think his brother came on the drums, and Dad actually did a song. Yeah. Sang for
you know who you are.
Yeah, you know who you are. Yeah. It's it was because I'd never done anything like that before, so I didn't know what was going to happen.
Right.
So after I made the decision that I was going to go, in a couple of weeks leading up to it, I had all kinds of things going through my mind about I thought we were just going to totally and utterly improvise something. I didn't know what was going to happen. I thought I was going to get in there and be like,
oh right, yeah. Well, that is the original. That is the original jam theory ethos, not for this one.
I'm not saying that's wrong or right.
No, but when musicians normally jam, that's what they do. They start with a few notes and see where it goes. But we have to have a format because then we get through more songs. And the singer always chooses a song and a key.
And I think I much prefer it that way. Yeah,
and then everybody else can just join in.
Otherwise, we could end up with some hour-long improvisation and just like, God, have a word, Yeah, but we can put some standards down. We get to it. Like choose a key. Yeah. Off we go.
You can choose any song you like as long as it's blues.
Yeah. I really like that, and I have learnt. I could really relate to some of the things you were saying about like you wanted to play with other musicians, and when you did, you learned a lot more.
But definitely, you always learn more. Yeah. You learn all the time, and you learn to play. You're in a band setting. That's the thing. It's the best experience you can get if you're not in a band, because and the people that come that don't play, the non-musicians, they're normally blown away by the standard of the actual musicianship, which is,
and especially when you explain to them, because they're all like, how long has that band been together then? And you're like, about the last 3 minutes.
3 minutes, yeah.
That's the first time they've all played together. What? Like, they only decided the song like 2.5 minutes into it, let alone. Yeah. I love all the faff at the beginning as well, where there's always a 2-minute comment. What key? What are we doing? What?
That's always the thing. And now and again you get somebody who picks a song snakes through where it's not straightforward, and it's evident at the beginning that it's not going to go as well as if it's more straightforward, so I try to just remind people that let's keep it simple, keep to a format, otherwise we haven't got the time to learn songs. And that's when it goes wrong. Or the other classic is somebody introduces an 8-bar,
right,
which you would think would be easier because you don't have to worry about the other 4 bars, but it messes everybody up. It's fun. Actually, it's quite fun with that because you're looking at people's faces saying, hang on, where are we going now after the 8 bars? Well, you're going back to the beginning again. Because that's it. But if you're used to playing 12 bar all the time, then because 8 bar blues is a
is that just the 1 and 4 then? You never get to the 5th.
You never get to the 5th. Yeah. Or well, I'm not sure actually.
And do you do a quick change on the first 4?
Don't ask me. I just know what an 8 bar is. I mean,
you know how it sounds. And I'm here trying to work it out with the theory of it. Yeah.
I mean, there's some songs that are 16 bar. I think.
Okay.
I think the Little Water song. Can't think what it's called. The famous one. Anyway, in the only time it's 12 bars in during the solo.
Right. Yeah, I'm aware. I'm aware that like we mentioned, Allman Brothers, Stormy Monday. That's not a regular.
It's 12 bar.
It might be 12 bar, but it doesn't follow the normal.
No, because
format.
they put a load of jazz chords in it. If you
Yeah,
listen to the
yeah.
original by Elmore James, is it Elmore James?
Or is it T-Bone?
T-Bone Walker, sorry.
T-Bone Walker. Yeah.
His style was to play some jazzy chords in there.
Right. Okay.
But the Allman Brothers took it a step further, and they really
jazzed it up.
jazzed
it
up the
almost
chords.
changes key in the middle.
It does.
From
yeah.
what I understand, it changes from like G to A briefly.
Well, briefly, but it's still within the same thing. Yeah. Same range.
Yeah.
I can't go.
It doesn't sound too bad when I stay in G if I'm soloing over the top of it. It doesn't jar too much at any point. So.
No, but you can play it. I've heard it. There's a lot of famous people who just played it as a straight 12 bar. Yeah, I don't think it sounds so good personally.
Right. Yeah.
But
yeah. Well, thank you. Thank you.
No,
for
you're
putting
welcome.
It on. Thank you for putting it on. Thank you for doing this.
You're welcome.
It's been great to hear some more about your story. I'll probably ask you even more about it at the jams when I see you.
Okay. Fine.
Thank you for putting those on because it looks like it's fun, but there is a certain amount of work you have to do. I see that. I turn up early sometimes. You're busy running around,
It is
getting
a little bit
PA
set
up and
but it's
set up.
fine.
Yeah.
I mean, we've got some good sound people that help out.
Yeah, I noticed, right? We're lucky to have an actual like sound engineer who just sits at the desk and sorting it out.
The Arts Centre trained a few people up a few years ago.
Nice.
So
you get your sheets of paper out, and I like that you only put one song down so that we can all argue over the. You only put
never
one
used
pen
to
down.
be.
Sorry, what I meant, you only put one pen, so we all have to argue over
Well,
it.
recently we've had to start rationing how many people can put a name down on a sheet on each sheet, so you can still get up to 6 goes, if you want.
I think that's fair as well. Yeah.
Because there's just so many guitarists. We've had to do something, otherwise,
Yeah.
And it gets filled up pretty quick, that first sheet.
And I've only been to 2 other jams. So I've been to 3 jams in general, and it's amazing. It's the same.
Yeah.
Like you can throw a ball and bounce it off like every guitar in the room.
Yeah.
But there's only 1 or 2 bass players that are like, oh, up all night, am I, boys? Okay, thanks. Yeah. Yeah.
But they're all different. These jams. Yeah. They're all different.
Yeah. Slightly different formats sometimes or whatever. But yeah. No, I like that. Because I can, you can collude with some people and go, do you fancy doing so and so? And like,
definitely.
Oh yeah, you can sing that, right? Brilliant. Okay, what key? Yeah, I'll play
exactly
guitar
what
on it.
happened this week. Yeah, a couple of songs.
Yeah.
Somebody asked me to sing Pride and Joy. They wanted to play it, and that was.
Yeah.
Yeah, it works.
Nice. Mark, thank you.
All right, Brett, you're welcome.
Thank you very much. Yeah. And if I don't see you again, I'll definitely see you on the 21st.
You see us on the 21st, yeah.
And maybe see some of you on it. I don't know, if you're in Gloucestershire, 21st of June, Under the Arts.
Under the Edge Arts in the Chipping Hall in Wotton Under Edge.
Brilliant.
And did you say the Facebook group page? Can I say that?
Yes, please do.
It's called Friday Night Blues Jam at Under the Edge Arts. That's the group, and if you want to just join it, you just apply to join it online and you get accepted straight away. Yeah.
And you'll be kept informed of what's going on.
Yeah, then you get all the.
Yeah.
I'm glad you reminded me because I haven't posted the next date yet. But that's fine. Plenty of time. I'll do that today or tomorrow.
Yeah. There's always time. We know where it is. Right. Thank you. Say goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.